Super Saturday is always where we see the best of the best selling at Barrett-Jackson, and it's no different here in New Orleans. We're checking out some of our favorites, and here's mine, a 2020 Lamborghini Huracan Evo. This is the fastest version of an already fast car, 630 horsepower V10 and a beautiful spec. Verde Mantis green and loads of forged carbon fiber. What do you have, Mike?
Tyler, I may finally have found my dream Corvette. This is an absolutely stock-bodied 58 with the one-year styling touches like the washboard hood and the tux. Black over beautifully stitched red leather, but it's what lies beneath that's really special. It's an Art Morrison chassis, C7 independent front and rear suspension, an LS3 small block with individual fuel injection trumpets. Wow! Wouldn't you like to have a 65-year-old body with all new mechanicals? I know I would, and this fits the bill. Now here's Rick. He wants to go fast.
Well, that's right, Mike. I may have found the perfect automotive thrill ride. It's lot 725, a 2005 Ford GT, but this one's special. It's a Hennessy 1000 edition. It's got twin turbochargers that have been mounted to this engine that'll pump out 1,000 horsepower. It'll slam you into the seat as you're rolling down the highway. April?
Thanks, Rick. Talk about variety. Check this out. 1954 Chevy Custom Pickup. It's got the original factory 5-window body, stunning gray metallic finish. I mean, every detail is pristine. And the heart, an LS2 all dressed up to look like a vintage small block. This is truly art, and it proves there's something for everyone here on Super Saturday.
1958 Corvette Custom up on the block.
Now this car right here is the definition of resto mod. It has been restored to gleaming original spec as a 58 Corvette, but what is underneath is anything but. There's an Art Morrison chassis, much bigger wheels and tires than it was born with. New engine, transmission, all very different and all very modern compared to the 1958 fiberglass that surrounds it.
All right, let's take a look at the chassis cam as it's going across. We know it's been done beautifully. It's got that LS3 crate engine connected up to a 4L60E top-loader automatic transmission, professionally built. There you see the exhaust going back, perfect in just about every way. It's just as pretty underneath as it is up on top.
I'd say this is the finest resto mod of this year's New Orleans sale right here.
Oh yes, I'd agree. And even the LS3 V8 got a lot of touches on it. You know, normally it would just sort of drop it in there, but this one has all the dress up and the individual throttle body, sort of a vintage touch on it, even though it is the modern LS V8. And that interior, once again, very, very nice resto mod where you have the modern gauges but fitting into the original positions.
Whoa! You said it's the best. Everybody agrees with you. We just blew past $500,000.
That's incredible. One-year styling touches like these chrome-plated tusks. They were here for 58, went away for 59. So truly just a one-year unique body style. And what a build, $600,000.
And guess what? The guy who bought that has the other two cars that are in our top three. Today he has bought a Corvette Custom, a Hennessy 1000, and that Eleanor Tribute. Yeah, he spent just a little bit of money here at Barrett-Jackson in New Orleans, especially for this 58 Corvette Custom convertible. A Ford GT, this is from 2005, but this one's special. It's a Hennessy 1000.
John Hennessy's company has done great things with a number of great cars. Now, the Ford GTs were made in such limited number over a couple of year period here that it's kind of odd that a tuner would turn his attention to a car that already was very rare and valuable. This car has the stripes, it has the red calipers, the painted calipers, may have the Macintosh stereo, does not have the BBS wheels. Those were the only 4 factory options, but it's what Hennessy has done to this car that really makes it super.
Yes, they have the supercharged V8 from the factory here, but then Hennessy added twin turbos to feed into the supercharger to give it 1,000 horsepower. And when Craig was driving it, I thought he was a pretty cool cucumber with this thing. I'd be screaming like a banshee the entire time. But actually, to the previous owner's credit, this car does have 19,000 miles on it, so it was driven and used, which is unusual for us to see in a Ford GT. Most of the ones crossing the block have, well under 10,000 miles.
And we've got a new #1 seller. It's at 420. It looks like it's still moving.
Hennessy badging on the tail, identifying it as an HPE 1000. A little bit of Gurney lip to the spoiler here. Yes, that's another tribute to Dan Gurney, who came up with that for Indy cars at the back of the wing. Just a little lip for additional downforce. Notice how the exhaust protrudes through the bumper and big arrow underneath. Wow.
Yeah, you can also see in the rear grille this curvature going around here, which obviously we need to get the turbos coming out of the exhaust to turn back into the supercharger. So you see an extra little twist there you wouldn't see on a normal Ford GT. Craig Jackson mentioned that it sounded a little muffled. He has a car and it sounds a stock car himself that he bought new, and he couldn't hear the supercharger as much, but obviously the power, unbelievable.
Well, it's believable if you got $450,000 that's going to that gentleman right there, who I think is also the guy who bought the Eleanor a few minutes ago. So he decided he wants to upgrade his garage in a really big way. The new #1 seller, a 2005 Ford GT Hennessy 1000, $450,000. Up on the block now, a 1954 Chevy Custom pickup truck nicknamed the Shadow.
Well, you can see everything that has been shadowed on this truck in the front. No chrome grille, not painted, just a sort of satin finish with the gray interior and a 6-liter LS under the hood, but sort of the vintage throwback air cleaner and intake there. This one really well done, but of course the older body style, a step side 54.
Another one from MS Classics in Seekonk, Mass. And the cars they bring to Barrett-Jackson and trucks, the paint is just off the charts, gleaming. And I wish we had time to tell you everything that is new and has been done with this. It's just been dropped over a brand new frame, much larger wheels and tires, 4-wheel disc brakes. And on top of that, it's an incredible build. And it's just a great looking resto mod.
I can see more shadowed out thing, of course, the wheels. It all is the matching color. The badges, old 3100 badge, the mirrors, the trim around the windshield. But in the bed, at least this one still has a usable bed. Not that I would ever think you'd use this as a truck, but they have the oak inserts, what you would have found when this truck was new. That's about the only thing I see that's stock other than, well, some of the body panels.
Yeah, the tail lights are much more modern than the round ones that would have stuck out from the bed on each side. Boy, forged wheels. You don't see those big forged wheels on pickups very often. This is just beautiful.
By the way, this is the very last fantasy bid car of the day, or I should say truck of the day. So pretty soon we're going to find out who the winner is. And look at this number. I wonder if he predicted this, over $250,000.
Well, I am noticing one body modification. There's no fuel filler neck off the cab. They actually relocated it back here very stealthily. A little popper right here to put fuel in the back. I imagine modern fuel tank in there, but almost didn't notice it. It's so small.
And this is a 5-window. Most of these pickups were 3 windows, but a lot of drivers said there was a big blind spot here, so Chevrolet introduced a 5-window option. That's what we see here. That's the one you want.
Tell you what, it's still going. Thought it was going to hammer at 275, then it bumped up to 280, 285.
It's just another amazing example of how customs is just the sky's the limit at Barrett-Jackson. If this were a stock truck, no way $300,000 would be possible. But with this build, definitely deserving.
$300,000 for this 1954 Chevy Custom pickup truck, 630 horsepower, nicknamed the Shadow.